Hey, I gotta tell you guys. I gotta tell you guys something real funny. So today's Levi's last day of school. He'll be home at like literally 10:30. I I think I told Tracy, so on Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday were full days. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I thought they were half days. Half day to me is not 10:30. Half day to me is like
New.
noon. So was I on with you, Christine? We were doing something on Wednesday. I don't know what we were doing. Do we have a pod? I don't know what, I was on a call.
Was it training on the database?
That was it. Yes. Okay. That or Ring Central training, something. Okay. The doorbell rings, and the doorbell rings all the time. Well, not all the time, but like a couple times a week. I thought it was UPS or Amazon or whatever. I let it go. This was at 10:30. Our podcast or whatever we were doing ended at like 10:45 or 10:50. So I get up, I go to check the door. There's Levi, God bless him, in his power chair, just staring at the front door. He rang the doorbell and was just like, she forgot me. So my poor kid, now I don't live on a busy street, but oh my God, if anybody drove by, they're probably like, look at that poor kid in a wheelchair, just sitting at his front door. Nobody's home.
Nobody's
God,
letting him in.
10:30. Who gets out? Who half days? Like, so today I have alarms set everywhere. 10:25, 10:30, 10:35, just so I remember to open the door.
They would probably think that you're a Gen Z parent following the rules that you were raised by. It's like in the morning, that's it. Get outside and don't come back in until dinner.
Until I ring the bell.
That's right.
Until I ring the bell. Oh my goodness.
That's right. I'll let you know when you could come back in the house.
Oh my gosh.
That's so funny.
I know. I know. And
that is not a half day though. That's a 2-hour school day. That does not count.
That's right. Now, why even go?
He gets there at like 7. The van picks him up at like 7:05. But still, classes don't start, I think, till 7:50. 10:30, 10:35, yeah. That doorbell rang. I'm like, it's Amazon or UPS. Poor kid.
Does he have like extended school year or anything, or does he get to be?
No, he's home. No, he's home. Yep.
Well, can I just say for a second, he's in high school. High schoolers are waking up at 10:30 in the morning, if you're lucky. And so they make this poor kid wake up, go to school, do what for 2 hours?
Yep.
And then come home. He's probably going to crawl back in bed and be like, I'll see you at 5:00 when I wake up.
I know. It's crazy. I'm like, I guess there's some kind of law that, you have to have a certain amount of days of school. You physically have to be there. But 2 hours, I'm like, seriously? They do nothing. They did nothing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So, but
I thought it was something like they had to feed them lunch for it to count as a day. Because remember, wasn't that the thing for the longest time? They'd go in, they'd eat lunch, they'd send them home.
That's pretty much
that. Okay. Maybe.
But they probably feed those guys at 10 a.m. Like that's what my kids do when they want them to get out early.
They're there at 7.
They move their lunches all up by an hour. Feed them lunch like in an ungodly hour where you don't want to be eating a pizza burger or whatever.
I know. Chicken nuggets and fries.
I mean, wait a minute. Is there ever a time you don't want to eat a pizza burger?
True. I ate my leftover half a cheeseburger from Eaton Park this morning while I was getting ready. Because me and the girls went last night after practice. My boys spent the night at my mom's, so my house is really quiet because my girls are still sleeping.
Ooh. That is the one good thing with summer. Like Levi will sleep forever. I mean, so my day will be I'll have my day half under my belt when he'll just be like open in one eye. So
I'm abusing my parents this year, which is so fun for me. I am making them babysit so that I can work because I've never really done that before, but I paid somebody last summer, but with the house, I can't afford to pay somebody this summer. So I'm like, all right, Mom, you have these 2 days and Dad, you have these 2 days. And then I'll figure out the other day. And it's hilarious. Like watching them run around like I run around because yesterday the boys had a baseball practice and stuff. So watching my mom run from place to place, I'm like, ha ha ha. Now you know how it feels. She's like, how are you not exhausted all the time? I'm like, I am exhausted. I'm like, and I have a full-time job on top of you. You're retired. She's like, I'm old. I'm like, you're not that old.
You know, parenting though, I mean, I think that that's a good point. Like parenting, our parents, my parents, if the school offered stuff, I did cheerleading and I did basketball when I was in, you know, like that age range, like 5th through 8th grade, kind of 9th grade kind of thing. I had to get myself there for the most part. It would be like the deal in my family was, I'll give you a ride one way. So maybe my parents would give me a ride like to the game, but then I had to like swap rides to get rides home with like somebody else. Like our parents did not my parents did not throw me in the car and like, if I needed to get to cheer practice or basketball, anything like that was on me. Figure it out. Like they were not. Parenting is active nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom would never have sat at a practice. Like I sit at a practice every night of my life. They would have never sat at a practice. My high school, like from 8 to 12th grade, didn't have buses. They only bused the little kids, and so we walked back and forth to school and to practices and whatever. And that was just like normal and expected. Now, like if my daughter had to sit somewhere for an extra 5 minutes, she would have like an absolute meltdown.
And. And I remember my mom saying to me once, yeah, I don't have time to do anything. And she's like, well, drop them off at practice and go home and you don't have to go and sit there. And I was like, yeah, I do. Because if I don't, my kids will be social outcasts. It was not optional. It was, this is where you're going to be. And then we got the guilt trip, and it's true because I was coaching soccer, and I had a kid break their leg in the middle of a game, and we had to like drag him off the field and put him on a bench, and his parents weren't there.
Oh no!
And so he sat through the whole game with and he was such a trooper, you know. I mean, there he is sitting on the bench with his like leg up, just waiting, and I'm like, "Can we call your?" He's like. We tried, we couldn't get in touch with his parents. But I mean, that's the thing that we hear all the time. Could you imagine, like back in the day, I would have had to walk myself to basketball practice, break my leg, too bad, because we didn't have cell phones. And we walked out of the house without, so I'm, you know, maybe a little older, a dime or a quarter for like a phone or kind of beg somebody to use their phone. Like, too bad. Today, you would be referred to Christina or Jill for family support because CYS would be in your life.
Oh, guaranteed. They call the school districts especially call CYS for everything. Everything is like a slight now. My cousin and I were joking that like we don't think we even had like a sip of water until we were 20 years old. Like we like I can carry around like a 40-ounce Stanley cup with them, and I don't believe that I even like sipped water till I was an adult.
Right? Yeah. I'm thinking about it now. I would leave home. I'd get on my bike. I'd go to like a friend's house, and then they weren't home, so I'd go to another friend's house. You know, I would be like the kid with like nothing to do, just going around because you couldn't send a text to your friends like, hey, where's everybody at? Let's meet. And of course, the other parents, they're not letting anybody in their house. I don't know. We probably drank pool water or creek water, you know, whatever we were swimming in.
Yep.
Forget about lunch.
Welcome,
Jill.
Hi. So I was the kid that my parents both worked. So, like literally, so where I used to live, the bus stop was like it was probably at least a mile down the road across the main road. And I was in first grade. My parents had to leave for work. And I walked down there, and my brother is 3 years older than me. So in elementary school, up till third grade, he walked with me. But then he went to middle school, which was a different time to catch the bus because there was 3 different bus routes. So after that, I walked down there by myself. And at the end of the day, I walked up by myself. And during the summers, my parents worked. So, and my oldest brother, 6 years older than me, he was supposed to be watching me. Yeah. So pretty much I starved and was dehydrated all summer because like nobody cared about me. And then and I was also the kid that like, when I played sports in high school and stuff, I was the kid until I drove that never had a ride home.
Oh.
Because my parents worked, and the one time my dad was supposed to pick me up, he forgot me. And we lived like one of the furthest houses away from the school. And they didn't remember till like 9:30 at night. And I was sitting down. Yeah, no joke. I was hiding
That's how
behind
horror
the
movies
pillar.
start.
Yeah, I was hiding behind the brick pillar of the school because they had turned out the lights, closed the gates and everything. And I'm hiding, waiting for my dad.
Oh my God, what adult left you there? Can you imagine leaving a kid in an abandoned parking lot at night by themselves? I would be like somebody's mother. I'd be like, all right.
You'd call CYS on yourself.
Yeah. I was literally traumatized, but I was that kid that always had to bum a ride off of somebody. And there was several times where my parents, and it wasn't like, they didn't realize I wasn't home till like 9:30 at night. And I was like literally in like 9th grade, like I know where my kids are at all times. Look, I have adult children, that are married with their own children, and I track them. I track them. I track all of them. I even track Chrissy. Yeah, Chrissy is on my track list. Look, I track her.
I already this morning got a text from one of my kids. So yeah. It's, we know where our kids are at every moment. But, you watch on like TikTok and stuff, and they're always talking about, Gen Z and how we were growing up. And they say there were actual commercials on TV that would be like, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your child
where your kids are? Yeah.
There's a reason for that. It may be a joke now. Somebody somewhere thought that was a good idea because like it was necessary. There's a reason why like famous people and stuff did those little service announcements and that they were on TV regularly, because somebody needs to remind Jill's parents to go pick her up from the parking lot that she was waiting in.
That your kid is. Have you checked the pillars at the school?
Yeah. Well, and that was what was crazy. I was so scared because, like, unfortunately, I grew up with, how they always say now there's so much like danger and all this, like the human trafficking. That all went on back then too. We just didn't have social media to tell us.
Right.
So I grew up with parents that were always like, stranger danger, blah, blah, blah. So I was always scared to death my whole life because my parents told me all these horrible things. So I was literally hiding behind the pillar because cars were coming. And it's Route 50 in Avella. It's the main road. So I was hiding. And thank God my dad always drove a big, huge, jacked up truck that you could hear coming. And I heard him coming, and I remember thinking, oh my God. And then he yelled at me the whole way home.
Because it was your fault.
For not calling. Yeah, for not calling. But meanwhile, the payphone was in the school. So once they locked the doors, you couldn't call.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, I need therapy.
So I mean, it's kind of no wonder why we don't think anything of like taking care of ourselves over the summer, because I think that as parents, we just kind of want our kids to have maybe the summer that we didn't have. I mean, like, again, we didn't have water. We certainly didn't have anybody packing us snacks.
No.
And certainly not filling our cupboards. Could you imagine, like, if your parents bought snacks and you ate them all in the first 2 days of summer vacation, like you were snackless all summer.
Let me tell you. So I've told you all before, my son's a snacker, my youngest. Yesterday, at the end of the day, I had to run to the store to get something. It was probably like around 6. He loves popsicles. So I bought 2 boxes of popsicles, a box of Oreo ice cream sandwiches. He loves them. And Oreo bars. And I came in the house and I told all the other kids, get them now, because soon as Teague knows. So a couple of times through the night, I seen him walking his arm down. What do you got? So I cut him off at like 3 popsicles and 1 of each the other Oreo thing. This morning I woke up. My husband's out of town, so they're sleeping with me. And I woke up and go in the kitchen. Both popsicle boxes empty in the garbage, and he ate all the ice cream cakes. That was from 6 o'clock in the evening till we went to bed last night. And he has a blankie, and he was carrying it around. He was like, "Oh, this is how I'm going to carry my blankie from now on." I said, "What's under your blanket?"
Full of popsicles.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He ate them all. So, yeah, I can't imagine when I was little, I would have never gotten another popsicle in my life.
Ever. Still now, your parents would come to your house and take the popsicles out of your fridge.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They're like, "Do you remember that time you ate all the popsicles in one day?"
That's no more. No more.
Yeah. Never again.
He's my favorite.
Okay.
I love him. He is the best. He has the demeanor of a minion. Like, his personality is very busy and lively and happy, and
he talks like a minion.
And he will eat. I watched him a few weeks ago, and he wanted toaster waffles, but my toaster waffles look like crap. So I was like, "Let me make you pancakes." And he was like, "Can you make me French toast?" "Yeah, sure, buddy. I'll make you French toast." So I made him, like, he's, 6 years old. I thought, or 7 years old. I thought like 2 pieces of French toast would be good. I made him 2 pieces. He's like, "You make me 2 more?" Made him 2 more. He ate 6 pieces of French toast.
And she uses that big, thick
Italian,
bread.
like Tony's bread. Yeah. And he ate 6 pieces of French toast and then 2 pieces of pizza. Happy as a clam.
I don't know how
Love
I'm
it.
ever going to keep him in food this summer. I really don't. And like I said, my parents didn't care. You had a pound of chipped ham in the refrigerator.
That's it. Good luck.
A loaf of bread. And
Peanut butter and jelly.
yeah. And that's it.
Yep.
Like, good luck.
No, my mom cooked like a lot. She was an Italian family. My mom always had but it wasn't necessarily what I wanted to eat. But there was always like a pot of soup, a casserole, spaghetti sauce and pasta in the refrigerator. So we did like have that. We were fed, but we were completely ignored. She laid on the couch, I think, the majority of the time she was home. She was a nurse, so she did work, but she really has no personality. She's very nice, but she didn't have. Joe's met her. Joe was like, "That's your mother?" And I was like, she's like, "I would have never in a million years thought that was your mother. Like, you guys, it was like a business transaction, not like a mother and daughter." She was like, "It was very weird."
I felt awkward. That's how awkward it was. You all know me. And I felt awkward. And she wasn't even my mom.
Oh my gosh.
She would be very, very nice to you. She's like a very sweet person. But backwards as all, like, just not me. I swear to God, I crawled out from like the gutter. I am not like one of my parents at all.
You're a mutation.
She probably isn't.
You're a
She
mutation.
was somebody that got switched during the summer when nobody was watching.
No, we did Ancestry DNA and I matched with both of them, but I just
That's hysterical.
alien implant. I was always really concerned. I was like, "Are these really my parents? Like, what happened?" And my siblings and I are all very different. Neither one of them like my mom and dad. My dad's very dry and very sarcastic, and my mom is just like this little mouse. And here I come, like, loud from birth and just.
Oh my gosh.
Jill, I have to say, I'm going to give you absolute kudos because the popsicle boxes were in the trash. And like, listen, I'm sorry, but that is a huge win that you didn't find out that there were no popsicles until you opened your your freezer thinking, "Oh, I'll get a popsicle." And the empty boxes were in there because that was my life.
That is my pantry. And so Teague, again, is a snacker. And so we always have a ton of snacks. Chris even sends extra snacks with her son, who's in the same homeroom, just because Teague eats all day. So you don't know how many times I go in the pantry and reach in to grab something. There's nothing in there. Nothing. Literally, the trash is not even 4 feet away from the pantry. But I'll tell you. So the boxes were in the trash, but they were hidden. Like he
buried them because he knew.
He knew.
Oh, he knows. He knows. And I don't eat pops. That's the funniest thing. We're talking about this. So my kids eat everything, which I'm very grateful for. I have really great eaters. I don't remember eating popsicles. Like, I don't like popsicles. And my kid said to me the other day, how did you live, all these years without popsicles? And I'm like, I don't remember my parents ever buying popsicles. Back then, my mom was do you remember fudge sickles?
Yes. Yes.
That's what my mom liked. So that's what she bought. And I'm not really a
I grew up on those.
Yeah, I'm not a fudge sickle kind of girl. So, no. And so since I don't eat them, he feels he can eat my portion.
Fair. That's a fair
enough.
Ew, fudge sickles are gross, by the way, just going back to that.
Yeah. Well, there's a certain kind that are really creamy and good. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I grew up on those.
I don't remember. My mom bought those in banana popsicles. Like, who wants fake banana? Yuck.
Oh, no. No, the banana ones, even because my grandson loves the banana ones. And just the smell of them.
Smell, me too. Same thing with like banana Laffy Taffy, gross. Speaking of Tiggy and his snacks too, Jill, let him know that there is a beef jerky at my house in the drawer because he loves the beef jerky.
Yeah, beef jerky. Listen, this kid will eat anything. And poor Hunter was telling Chrissy, pack some beef jerky because that's what he likes to eat. Oh, he doesn't like, and Hunter would say, well, he doesn't like that over there. He likes these.
Yeah, they sat next to each other, but Hunter was always very worried about Teague not having enough snacks. So he would be like, hey, if it was fruit roll-ups and beef jerky, like, you need to pack an extra fruit roll-up and an extra beef jerky for Teague. And he'd be like, but his mom does send snacks because he always worried that I would think you weren't sending him snacks. So he'd be like, sends him snacks, but he likes my snacks too.
Well, the one day I went to the school and one of the little boys in first grade walked past me. He said, hi, Miss Jill. I said, hi. He goes, Teague's the big snacker in first grade. I said, I do know that. I do know. But he's the big snacker.
You guys would absolutely adore him. He is the best little boy. I love him so much.
Yeah, but I don't know how I'm going to keep these kids in food. I really don't. And with as expensive as everything is right now.
Girl, I spent $300 at Sam's Club last week, probably like Saturday, so not even a full week ago. Gone. Every single thing I bought is gone. I have to go again.
And when we were little, could you imagine sitting and eating all of something?
Never.
No, like, I'm not joking. Like, when we were talking about how, like, over the summer, again, I was the kid that her parents worked, so I was just kind of there. I didn't want to make a chipped ham sandwich. I kind of was going to start. My mom always came home and made dinner, but like breakfast and lunch was on me. My kids will take a whole bag of Lay's and sit on the couch and eat and I'm like, maybe it's just our generation, but I'm like, no, you take a little bowl, you put some chips in it. You got to save everybody else gets chips too. Not anymore. These kids are savages.
But we did because we're trying to do all the things that bothered us that our parents did. We did it backwards. So like, I have, consumerist children because I never had things. So they have everything and everything's at the drop of, they at their every whim. Like, AJ wanted ice cream last night. So at 10 p.m. I'm at Pops and Worries getting her ice cream. So that's kind of our fault. Like, when I get mad at them, I'm like, oh my God, I did this. This was my doing. So it's up to me, either undo it or just suck it up because I did it.
I've created monsters.
Yes.
That was one of my kids calling me. It's summer. She's a teacher. Her first day of not being at school. It never ends, ladies. It never ends. I just want you to know.
I know it. Well, how about this, Mike?
Planning the addition on our house for her apartment because she's never leaving, she said.
Oh, well, so my son's 29 and he now works for my husband. My husband started his own business. They're out of town working together. My son, who's 29, called last night to tell on my husband. Not only is it his stepdad and my son is 29, but it's also his boss, called to tell on him last night. I said, are you kidding me? He said, well, can you tell him? No, I am not. I am not calling the person who signed your paychecks and telling him to be nice to you. Do your job. Yeah. So no, it never ends. Never, ever. And he told me the other day, he said, Mom, when I grow up, which one of these, because we have a 4-bedroom house, and he said, which one of these rooms is going to be mine? I said, none of them. When you grow up, you're going to get out of my house. And he cried and cried and cried because he said he's never leaving and he'd like to have the red room. So he's patiently waiting for the rest of these people to get out so he can have the red bedroom.
Oh my God.
He's waiting them out.
We're going to have to pay forever.
Yeah, I know.
She said,
yeah, I'm never going to be able to retire.
Nope.
I was asking them all what they want to be when they grow up, whatever, having like a conversation about it. One of them wants to be a nurse practitioner. One of them wants to be a police officer, whatever. The oldest wants to be a hairdresser. Totally fine. I'm like, do you want to work for somebody else or do you want your own salon? She's like, well, my dad will build me a salon. And I was like, oh, he will? She's like, yeah, he'll buy a building and he'll put a salon in it for me. So I own my own salon if I had one. Like, she just has her whole life plan. She's going to live with us forever. We're going to put an apartment on the house for her and her dad's going to build her
Oh, these kiddos.
I know. It's insane. It's
these kiddos.